Hi guys, my name is Mills. Welcome back to my channel. I mostly make videos about life in the Dominican Republic, K-1 visa, moving abroad, things like that. And today I'm excited because I have an interview to do. Before I get started, if you can take a second to hit subscribe, that would be amazing. Thank you. All right, so why don't you introduce yourself to us and just tell us who you are, where you're from, and a little bit of your background?
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
My name is Warren. I'm 21, recently graduated from George Washington University. I was raised in Montserrat, a small Caribbean island. The population is about 5,000. And 3 years ago, I moved to the US to study accounting. And then during my time at GW, I got 2 internships in the Dominican Republic, where I worked there. The first time was with a small bank, and then the second time was with an accounting firm. And I'm here to kind of talk about my experience in the DR.
Yeah, I'm so excited because I feel like I don't even know. I think J-Rod's the only other guy I've really interviewed. So I'm excited to get your viewpoint. And did you say what city you were in the
So
DR?
Santo Domingo.
Yeah, so as you guys know, I don't have a ton of experience in Santo Domingo. I've just been there to kind of be a tourist. But tell us a little bit, what was your living situation? So was it through your school? Was it with a host family, by yourself? And maybe a little kind of day to day, what was your schedule kind of like with your jobs?
Sure, no problem. So just before that, I was speaking with my advisor at GW. I was kind of looking for an internship abroad.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think I had Chile or Argentina on my mind because I wanted to practice my Spanish a bit.
Yeah.
And the advisor said she didn't really think she'd be able to find anything in those countries.
Okay.
And then she mentioned, hey, there may be an opening in the DR.
Mm-hmm.
And my mouth dropped because I kind of go into this a bit more, but I always wanted to go there. I had a lot of friends from there because in Montserrat, where I grew up, the population, we have quite a few people from the DR living there.
Cool.
So I always just wanted to go there and experience what the country was like.
So you've never been before you moved?
I'd never gone. It was the first time.
That's awesome.
And I was just kind of amazed because I never really, although I wanted to go there, I never really thought that there would have been any internship opportunities.
Right.
So I said yes, and I applied and I got through with it. When I reached there, and the bank I was working for, it's
Mm-hmm.
Bank Guadalupim. It's a small bank. What they do a lot is loans for people on the lower end of the income scale.
Okay.
So those loans would be maybe $100, $200, and that may sound very small, but those loans make a big difference for people's lives. I think about 80% of the clientele are women. A lot are single mothers who are trying to start a business on the side to kind of help their families. So I was just really, thanks. I was really looking forward to that because I felt as though if I went to the DR as a tourist, I'd probably be on a resort and not really see the country itself. And with this internship, I had the opportunity to literally go into the homes of different clients and go into areas where people would say it's dangerous. I didn't really get that impression. And it was just really great to connect with people.
Yeah.
So when I first came, I'd never been there before. I didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
A few friends of mine told me to be careful, but other than that, nothing really on my mind.
Yeah.
So when I came to Santo Domingo, I was like, wow, because I'd been to other islands before in the Caribbean.
Right.
But I felt as though Santo Domingo was really developed in terms of, compared to other Caribbean islands, in terms of the infrastructure that was there.
Yeah.
I was staying at a small apartment that the bank owned. It was about a 5-minute or so walk from the bank's headquarters. It was pretty decent. It was one bedroom. They also had a cleaning service for me as well, so that was pretty nice.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then it's the first day I was there, the bank arranged for someone to pick me up from the airport.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped me off to the apartment, and I asked him if he can take me to a supermarket.
Yeah.
He took me to a mall called Galleria 360.
Yeah.
And there I was kind of, I don't know, it's been the first time I actually saw a supermarket in a mall itself. And for some reason, that's pretty common.
Yeah.
It's pretty common down there. So I, did my shopping and then came back to my apartment. And then I think that's when it actually really hit me because I was like, I'm here. You don't really know like how to get around, don't know what to do, and I just had to
Yeah.
figure everything out.
Yeah, and I think that's like honestly, well, I mean, for me personally, like just having to figure everything out on my own made me like so independent. Is it for you too? Like
Yeah.
I feel like you get so mature just having to like figure things out. I don't know. Did you speak Spanish before you moved there?
Yeah, so in high school, I did like the basics of Spanish
Yeah.
and whatnot, but I wasn't really able to have a proper conversation. But
Yeah.
I graduated high school and I was pretty young, so I took a year off before I came to the U.S. to study. And during
Okay.
that year, I watched a lot of telenovelas. To this day, I don't really know how to explain it, but I was able to speak Spanish after, like with the basics that I
Oh
had from
wow.
high school and just watching a lot of
Like build on that.
episodes. Yeah. So when I went to the DR, I didn't really have any issues with communicating or anything like that. And
Wow.
then it also helps to, I know you know that Dominicans speak really fast, so
Yes.
they have their own vocab, which is pretty
Yeah.
interesting and cool. But I had friends from
Oh
Montserrat,
yeah.
so I kind of was accustomed to the accent and like just the speed in which they speak.
That's
So that
true.
also helped.
That definitely helps because even like the telenovelas, like they don't speak as fast. Like if
Yeah,
they're from
exactly. Yeah.
Mexico or like Spain, I feel like I can't even watch ones in like Spain Spanish because I'm like, this doesn't even sound like anything. This sounds like another language.
Yeah, I
um,
get that.
so you lived alone in that apartment?
Yeah, so it's just
And,
me.
mhm.
I think that's also like I know with you. I think you at one point had like roommates or something
Yeah,
like that,
when I
right?
first moved there.
Which helps. But for me, it was just by myself. So I had to
Yeah,
make friends. I had to figure things out for myself. And I think that helped as well because if I had someone, let's say someone from school came with me as well, we'd probably be speaking in English in the apartment.
yeah,
So it just kind of forced me to get out of my bubble.
that's so true. That's awesome. So what would you say were your favorite things about Santo Domingo? Well, we'll start with your favorites.
Sure, no problem. I think, and it comes back to, I guess, Caribbean life.
Hmm.
People are really open and friendly. I
Yeah.
remember just my first few weeks at the bank, I was like, wow, this is really nice. In terms of, I was there, learning and, working, but at the same time, people who were supposed to supervise me, they were really, really open from the first day. And they'd
Hmm.
open up about just their entire life, their
They do.
families. And I was like, wow, this is
They
really
do.
nice.
Yeah.
Um, so that I really liked a
Hmm.
lot. I just also like the upbeat environment as well,
Hmm.
coming from Montserrat with that small population.
Yeah.
It's not there's not really much to do
Hmm.
on a day-to-day basis, and I felt that although I was still in the Caribbean in Santo Domingo, I still had. I mean, there was never a time when I didn't really know what to do after work. A lot of
That's
sightseeing
true.
to
Yeah.
go and do. A lot of just things like going out to eat and the mall and stuff like that. I was
That's so
probably in the mall every other day.
the mall
Um,
there is like that's just a place to hang out. Like
yeah,
I love it there. I mean,
and it's so
I never
convenient.
buy things. It's so expensive. I don't know if you saw like the clothes and stuff,
Uh
or I
huh.
don't know how it compares to Montserrat, but the clothes there
But we
are
don't
more
have
expensive.
malls in Montserrat, so that was like
Nothing.
one big difference.
Oh
Nah, no
wow.
big like commercial centers like
Yeah,
that.
like that.
But what I liked about the malls, like I had to change. I got paid in U.S. dollars, in cash, so I had to change my money every week. So
Yeah.
I just like that in the mall. You can pay your phone bill there.
Yeah.
I used to like top up my phone bill with minutes. Go to the grocery store, get the money change at the bank, and I just liked having everything at
Oh my
one
gosh.
place. Yeah,
That's
and
so
then
true.
there are a lot of malls too downtown. Like Blue Mall is the most
Blue
expensive. I
Mall.
only go there just to look around.
Yeah, it's same. Or if you want any like fast food that like
uh,
for us, like we would be like, oh, we missed Taco Bell, and like we went to the Blue Mall.
yeah,
Like,
but it's like just a lot of expensive stuff there. And
yeah.
sometimes I guess too, I was kind of shocked at the level of wealth that I saw in Santo Domingo as
Hmm.
well, because we often think of it as not the most developed country, but downtown, I mean, I think the wealth was pretty obvious as well.
Yeah.
In terms of like Blue Mall, for example, it's all high-end luxury um, stores there.
Yeah.
Just the type of vehicles that I saw as well. I remember one day I was walking. I like walking a lot.
Yeah.
So I was just walking down. I don't know if you know Avenida Winston Churchill. I was just
Okay.
walking down that street. And then this big Rolls Royce just passed me. I was like, wow.
That's when you know you're rich. Yeah. There are some cars I saw there that I would never have in the DR because you know how they drive. I don't think it's worth it to have like a Rolls Royce and then someone's gonna bump into it and never tell
Yeah.
you. It's like, but there are some super nice cars.
Yeah.
Since you walked everywhere, did you ever have an issue like feeling safe or walking around at night? Or I know probably people, when they warned you, they probably warned you about like getting
Cell
mugged.
phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cell phone, wallet,
So the
whatever.
first week, so I use Google Maps a lot.
Yeah.
The first week, even though something was maybe like 3 minutes away,
Hmm.
I'd call an Uber. One thing that I do like about the Uber is it's really cheap. I think it's
Yeah.
like for me, anywhere in the national district that I wanted to go to is about $2 or $3
Yeah, it's really
max.
cheap.
I remember one time as well, I had a friend who lived in San Pedro, which
Yeah.
is, let's say, an hour and a half away. I
Hmm.
took a ride over there, and it was about $30
Oh,
for
that's
that
not
an
bad at
hour and a
all.
half. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
really, really cheap. So I Ubered a lot the first couple of weeks, and then
Okay.
after I was like, this is 3 minutes away. This is ridiculous. So I
Yeah.
just started walking. I never really felt threatened. I walked to work in the day,
Hmm.
walked in the evening. Like I'd go to the Colmado at night if I ran out of
Yeah.
stuff. I really felt threatened or anything like that.
That's good. So you
And
never
then,
had any issue. Like,
nah, I never had any issue. And then the other thing too is I stayed in Naco, which is
okay.
a
Yeah.
pretty upper class area. But I
Yeah.
also had friends who lived in Santo Domingo, like East Santo Domingo, and I'd Uber over there at night as well. Never really had any issues. The
Okay.
Uber's pretty safe
That's
and
good.
friendly, so
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel
never
like
really
it's
felt threatened.
usually most people are fine. I feel like the people that I don't know, they're like making it more
Yeah.
they're holding their things out maybe. So when you said everyone was nice to you when you started, how did they like perceive you? Did any when you were walking around, do people think you're Dominican until maybe you start talking or were they all super friendly?
Uh-huh. So that's an interesting question because a lot of people actually thought I was from Haiti, and so the
Okay,
bank
yeah.
that I worked for,
Hmm.
a lot of the clients they because they live in rural areas, they can't really come to the branch,
Okay.
so we'd actually go to them in their houses.
That is so
So
cool.
yeah, I love that
I'm gonna ask
because
you more about that, but
I got to go to I had this friend who's working at the company I work for now, and I told him,
Mhm.
hey, I went to Cristo Rey, I went to La Fe, and he was like, really? I'm like, yeah, because they're known as like dangerous places, but I never
Yeah.
really felt threatened. And someone could say it's probably luck that I had, but I don't think so because
Mhm.
they're small towns, and
Mhm.
everyone knows, hey, every Monday the bank is sending their official, so
Yeah.
people know we're walking with money. People know we're going to collect
Oh yeah.
money, so it's
Mhm.
like nothing really happened. People invite us in their houses, hey, what's up, whatever.
Oh, that's
Um, and I love that because I got to see a different side of the country.
yeah.
Um, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, a lot of clients ask, hey, I noticed an accent. Where's this guy from?
Yeah.
So I often got that I was Haitian because of my accent,
Yeah.
which was pretty interesting. I never really thought about that.
I honestly, that wasn't the first thought in my mind either.
Yeah.
They would probably assume that. That's interesting. So when you went to clients' houses, like what kind of so you're doing like microfinance and the
Yeah.
small loans, like what kind of businesses were they starting with such a small loan?
Mhm. So a lot of them had like co-models.
Okay.
A lot of these clients they can't get financing
Yeah.
at other banks.
Right.
So what we kind of do is give them $100 loan to help them establish credit,
Mhm.
and then so the newer customers they'd be starting like a hair salon in their house or
Okay.
making drinks stuff like that,
Okay.
or small co-model, and then the more established clients who are with us for like 2 or 3 years.
Mhm.
We'd probably give them like $800
Oh wow.
loans of
Okay.
that size, and they'd use it to, I guess, buy a car if they needed a car, like a used car for their business, or
Yeah.
just improving pieces like parts of their home where they normally do like the having their hair business and stuff like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
There was one lady I was really impressed because, and that's the thing about the job that I really liked, because I got to hear so many different stories. There was one
Yeah.
lady who started with, I think, a $300 loan, I think just selling baked goods.
Hmm.
And she was with the bank for 5 years, and the bank gave her a sizable loan to start doing like rental properties, small rental
Oh,
properties.
wow. Yeah.
So I remember going by her, and the loan that she had with us was pretty sizable, and all
Hmm.
that we're dealing in cash. So she had like this big wad of cash, and she
Wow.
was like, here's the monthly payment. I thought it was really
Wow.
nice because
Yeah.
those small loans really made a big difference.
It must be so cool to see someone like, I mean, there's a difference between giving someone $100 to just have, right? Versus
Mm.
like to start a business. I feel like it's so cool, like you just said, to then go back, and she probably started with $100 loan, and now they trust her with more, and her business is like, that's awesome. They did some of that in Jarabacoa, and it was
Mhm.
cool to see like someone starting at like selling like popsicles, and then 3 years later they have like a store.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's
So
you're making. I really like it because you're making money as a bank, but you're also changing people's lives
yeah,
because they wouldn't have been able to access credit elsewhere.
yeah, that's awesome. What a cool job. Um, so what was your favorite place like outside of Santo Domingo? Did you get to like visit some cool cities that you really liked?
Yeah, so I've been all over the island, not just for the internship, but when I also went back just for vacation. Like
Yeah.
in December, I spent a week in San Pedro.
Okay.
I didn't really like it too much, but I think it's just because I got too spoiled in Santo Domingo with like the
It
Uber.
has a different vibe. Honestly, San Pedro's like kind of unlike anywhere else that I've been there.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I like
It's
going to
fun.
the Malecon over
Yeah.
there. There are a lot of nice food places,
Hmm.
but I guess for me the problem was where I stayed in Santo Domingo. I could have walked
Yeah.
anywhere basically, and in San
Yeah.
Pedro it's a bit more difficult to be walking.
It is.
Um, and Uber, I mean, there's Uber over there, but it takes a while to
Yeah.
find one.
Yeah.
Uh, but
I
uh-huh.
No, go ahead, sorry.
I was saying I went to Jarabacoa as well.
Yes.
I just went there for the day though. I think I did a hike.
Okay.
Oh, I went there twice actually. Yeah, so I did 2 hikes over there.
Yeah.
Um, I like the atmosphere. It's a lot different, and it
Hmm.
was nice to come out of the busy city, and it reminded me of home. You know how it's really green and a lot of
Yeah.
mountains and stuff like that. That's exactly how Montserrat is.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it did remind me of home.
Oh,
Also went to Pedernales,
oh,
over by the border with Haiti.
yeah. I haven't been
That
there. So cool.
so beautiful. That's where Bahia de las Águilas is.
Did you go?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Interesting,
wanted to
funny
go
story
so
actually.
bad.
It's I can't remember if it was like 6 or 7 hours away, because what happened was, and this was really cool about the internship, was I had the ability to kind of say what I wanted to do. So that
Oh,
week I was planning to stay in the finance department.
yeah.
Um, and my friend, the bank has a nonprofit organization that kind of deals with financial literacy.
Hmm.
So my friend who was working there at the nonprofit organization, she was going over to Pedernales for 2 days to do a few seminars. And I was like, that's so cool. I want to go over there. So then I went to HR in the middle of the day, and I was like, can I cancel this finance thing for the rest of the week? I want to go to Pedernales. And they're like, sure, go ahead. I
That's
was like, really?
amazing.
They're like, yeah, take a lot of pictures too.
Aw.
So I
I
got
wish we
out.
could do that in our everyday jobs.
It was amazing. Just a journey, like you, I was amazed because
Like how
when
much
we're,
you see on the way.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I felt as though I saw, like at one point it was just really dry, like a desert,
Hmm.
and it didn't look like I was in the DR anymore. A lot
Yeah.
of cacti and windmills, and then we came out of that zone and it became real like Harbacoa, a lot of
Yeah.
mountains again, and then we went to like closer to Pedernales where I guess the coast is,
Hmm.
beautiful beaches, and over there isn't really visited that much because
Yeah.
it's just so far away. So when me and my friend went, we were the only ones on the beach, which was
That's
really
so
nice.
cool. I've seen that. Like, no, literally, you're there alone, which was like must be awesome.
Yeah, I know we were planning to do the seminar. So we arrived in Pedernales. We did one seminar and then we went just into town. We had like a driver to take us around. One thing that was pretty cool as well, the hotel was 1,000 pesos, so about $20
Hmm.
a night. And when she first told me that, I was like, I'm not quite sure how good the
Yeah.
service is going to be,
Yeah.
but I was really impressed. Like, it was really clean. I think we were the only ones there, really clean.
That's awesome.
I really had a nice time. It was just a walk away
Yeah.
from the beach as well. We went there. And then the next morning, we were supposed to go to do another seminar.
Hmm.
And then we ended up doing like a detour going to Bahia de los Águilas.
Man,
And
that's
I
nice.
had like my work outfit on and everything. And she was like, "Don't worry, jump inside the water." And we jumped in the water
You
with my
did?
work clothes. Yeah,
That's so fun. Oh my gosh.
I had a
Those are
wonderful
like,
experience.
yeah, those are like the memories that you just like hold on to, I feel like. That's so awesome. Did so do you plan to go back to DR to live ever, or do you think more like maybe vacations?
Uh, I'd love to go back to live. So since doing that first internship, I think I went back 2 months after, and
Hmm.
then 2 months after again, just for like a short
Yeah, it's
vacation.
addicting.
And then I just wanted to go back for the summer. I had an internship here in the U.S. for
Hmm.
June, August, and since I was going to be free for most of May, I was desperately trying to find something back there just so I can go back. It's really nice to speak Spanish in a working setting and just have that practice.
Yeah,
I just love being there. When I'm there,
yeah,
I'm
I
really
get
happy.
it.
So I found an opportunity with an accounting firm down there,
Hmm.
and I ended up like working as an auditor for La Sirena, which is the largest supermarket down
Yeah,
there, supermarket chain. So that was really nice as well.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, I love to go back. I think the only thing is, and you probably noticed as well, although there are a lot of opportunities for jobs,
Hmm.
I think the pay isn't the best.
Yeah,
Um, and that's, I guess, the
downside.
dark part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you'd have to work remotely and
Yeah.
then
Either
just
that or
volunteer.
like start your own business, I think.
Yeah, true. That's very true. When you worked for La Sirena, did you work in Santo Domingo too?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's cool that you could like get an internship. Like I feel like most people coming from another place to DR, they're teaching or they're like a missionary or something else, but it's cool that you worked for like such an established business there. I don't
I
know.
think it comes to like just making connections because when I
Yeah.
first came, the first week I wasn't that good at, leaving my apartment, but I was
Yeah.
like, I'm here for 2 months.
You
I
have
gotta get
to.
out. I
Yeah.
just, made friends with people.
Hmm.
Um, and then that's how I got that opportunity to come back the next year because it
Yeah.
wasn't like a formal process of me applying for anything. But yeah, and the funny thing about La Sirena is, I don't know if you know the story. I was one week and I was just reading about it. The guy who started it, he was an immigrant from Europe, and
Hmm.
he was working. I think he worked as like a cashier or something
Okay.
at a supermarket at the time. And then I think, got a loan and purchased the store. And then eventually they did well and started buying at different stores, and
That's
he
so
changed
great.
it to La Sirena. So one day I'm going to work in La Sirena. I'm in an elevator,
Hmm.
and there's this guy there. I didn't really pay much attention to him. I went home, and that weekend when I researched the company, I realized, hey, this is the owner.
Oh
I
my
was like,
gosh, that's
I
crazy.
never realized that. It's pretty cool,
Yeah.
and that's one thing about, I guess, in Santo Domingo that I realized as well. Although the population is pretty big,
Hmm.
I feel as though you you bump into a lot of people over there.
Really?
Um,
I
so
say that
I
about Santiago. I mean, and it's way smaller, but it's still
uh,
so big and you see everyone. And I'm like, how do you like it's
yeah,
weird.
it's pretty crazy because like one time I'd rented like an Airbnb.
Hmm.
I don't know if you know El Alfa. I think he's like he sings Dembow, but
Oh, yeah.
so I was staying in the same building he was living in. I realized
Oh my.
another time I was in Agora looking for shoes, and this guy who I guess does a lot of radio
Yeah.
locally bumped into him, got a picture, the former president as well. I bumped into him coming off of a plane
That is so
in
weird.
Atlanta. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I like that. And someone asked kind of what was it like growing up in Montserrat? And like, I guess, yeah, you can say what it was like, but we know that it's so small. There's so many differences, I feel like, between DR. But can you just tell us a little bit about like, what it's like living there in such a small island?
Yeah, sure. So because it's so small, you're always close to the beach. So that's one thing. So I went to the beach 3 times in total when I was in the DR. And it's because I'm not really too crazy about the beach, because growing up there was a beach 5 minutes away always. Yeah. So that's one thing. Also as well, just the population size.
Yeah.
Like in Montserrat, everyone knows you. In Santo Domingo, like I felt like no one really knew me, so it was kind of cool in a way. And I think just having things to do also, like the nightlife is a lot more. Even if you're not like a nightlife person, there's so many things you can do.
Yeah.
Like one weekend you can be in Santo Domingo. The next weekend you can go to Puerto Plata. Next weekend you can go to another place, and I just feel like there's so much more to do.
This is a dumb question. How big is Montserrat, like land-wise? Like, so DR is like 7 times smaller than New York, where I'm from, and it always like blew my mind because it feels so much bigger, but it's really small. So that sounds really small.
So interesting. Montserrat's 39 square miles, which is smaller than Santo Domingo. So the entire island is smaller than the capital.
Wow. Okay, that's crazy. So how long would it take you to drive like across your whole island?
Well, I don't know if you know like the back history. We had like a volcanic eruption in the 90s, and it wiped off like 2/3 of the island. So 2/3 of the island is just abandoned basically, and everyone really lives on the northern side of the island.
Yeah.
And I'd say like maybe 15-20 minutes from like the southern end to the most northern end. But most of the land also isn't really inhabited. People really live on the coast.
On that one spot.
Yeah.
So how many kids like went to school with you?
So there's one high school. Everyone's required to go, and there are 300 students.
In the whole school?
Yeah.
Not that bad, I guess. I've seen smaller. That's not bad. But that is crazy. So you probably like then going to the States and then to DR was like a whole different experience.
Yeah. Like, coming here to the first time was like, I had to adjust to a few things.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I don't know if everyone knows, but can you just say like official language in Montserrat? Because I feel like someone's going to think that you speak Spanish.
No, it's English. We're a British colony still. So we're still under British rule.
Queen Elizabeth. That's so funny. I'm jealous.
Like her birthday is a holiday.
What is?
Her birthday, Queen Elizabeth's birthday.
Oh, I know. That's so funny. I love that. We should do, well, no, we shouldn't. Never mind. We should celebrate her birthday here. That's cool. I'm trying to think if there were any other questions. Was there anything else that you wanted to share kind of like, or do you have any suggestions for maybe anyone else interested in finance or how to get there? Maybe if they don't have like a school connection to organize?
I think before I get to that, kind of like a few things, since I mentioned how much I loved being in the capital, a few things that I didn't really like about being in the capital. Traffic is horrible.
Amen.
And I feel as though it's gotten a lot worse. Like I was in February, it was horrible.
Yeah, I feel like it's just the infrastructure, the roads weren't built for that many cars, and it's
just getting worse. Yeah, like the second year from where I was staying, my apartment. Oh, I didn't mention this, but the first time I stayed with the bank's apartment. By the second time, I found an apartment myself on Airbnb. I just had it for the month. It was about, I want to say 15 or so minutes away from where I had to work. without traffic. It normally took me 40 minutes to get there
No.
in the morning. It was
See,
horrible.
like I can't do that.
Yeah, it's really horrible. And then also because I'm like trying to get the Uber to come to me, if the Uber isn't nearby, it's gonna also take a while to come and get me.
Before.
Yeah, and it's worse, a lot worse after work. So I just stayed where La Sirena is, Blue Mall is, and Acropolis. So I just normally like walked over and hang out over there until the traffic died off. Because
there's no point
it's horrible
in sitting in it. Is there anything else that you feel like you didn't really love about Santo Domingo?
Apart from the traffic, just the traffic itself, the driving also is a bit kind of crazy.
Reckless.
Yeah, and that's a good thing about having friends, because I never would have thought of this before. But one time, me and a friend, we went to the grocery store, we were walking, and she said, even if the cars are at a standstill, like if there's a red light and they're waiting, don't cross between the cars, because motorcycles often go through the spaces.
Yeah, that's a really good suggestion.
So, I guess that's also a tip, but that's one thing that I realized. And even if there's a red light and I can walk on the pedestrian crossing, motorcycles would still fly in front of me.
It's scary. The driving situation, everyone knows. I talk about that all the time. It's scary.
Yeah. Apart from that, I don't really think. I just love this so much. I don't know. I don't really, besides the traffic, I don't really have any other complaints or anything.
That's perfect. You can't ask for much more than to only have one complaint. What would you suggest to someone who wants to kind of do the same thing?
I think it's a bit hard finding just jobs in general. But I think if someone really wants to try, what I do is look for, if you want to go into banking or finance, look or research what are the top 5, the top 10 banks on the island, or finance companies. I think the larger the company, the more willing they may be able to be to actually have you come and kind of sponsor your trip. Or even if you you're in a position to kind of sponsor your own trip, I think that may also work as well. Just saying, hey, I'm just here for the experience. You don't need to pay me necessarily. I'm willing to come on my own time. And I think it's also worth just having that experience also. I wouldn't say that's a waste of money. And then just reaching out to people on LinkedIn, maybe who are working in the human resources department.
That's a good idea.
Just reaching out. You never really know.
Yeah, making connections.
And just general tips. I think Uber is really helpful, especially just for getting your bearings.
Yeah.
When you want to go or travel within the country outside of the capital, I use Caribbean Tours.
Yeah.
I really love their rides. They stuck to the schedule.
I know, shocking. It was great.
Yeah, I really enjoyed traveling with them. And I'd also say, if you're there and when you get there, don't stay in your apartment. Get out. If you don't like nightlife so much, there's things for you to do in the day. I really like Zona Colonial. I wouldn't really stay in that area because it's not really for me, but it's beautiful.
It is. It's fun.
A lot of history over there as well. And I just say just find excursions. One company that I used was called Ada Excursions. When I traveled with them, it looked like it was more locals using their services than actual tourists. And then the good thing about that is, one, it forces you to speak Spanish, and then two, the rates are a lot cheaper also.
Yeah, I've been on some and it's way better if it's for Dominicans than.
Yeah, I mean, I have some crazy stories. You'd be in the bus and everyone's jamming and drinking, and it's everyone's having a great time.
Yeah, and then it's me in the back screaming at the driver to slow down. I'd always get so scared on the bus, on the way home in the dark, and he's drinking, and I'm oh no, this is a mess. But the good thing is no matter, I feel what group of Dominicans you're with, you're gonna have fun that day. It doesn't matter if you don't know anyone that's going. It's just, they're so nice.
Yeah. And just for places to go in terms of doing your errands, I I had a chip from Claro in my phone.
Okay.
So when I came, I went to Galleria Thrifty Center, and there's like a branch there. I got set up in 30 minutes. I got my chip. Only had to give them my passport number. And then I paid, I think, I want to say $3 every 5 days for unlimited data.
Not bad.
And then I just, if you don't want to physically go to Claro, you can also top up your phone at Colmado's, which I didn't really know.
Yeah, it's so funny.
You can also do it online also as well.
Okay.
And then I use any of the banks are changing, like changing U.S. currency. I wouldn't necessarily do it in the airport because the rate isn't as good. Uber's pretty safe. I wouldn't have any worries using Uber.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of nice places in the Airbnb as well.
So true. I forgot to ask, did you need a visa like to do your internship, or did you just come on a visitor visa and they were able to pay you?
Yeah, I just came on my tourist visa.
Okay, cool. So
and then I realized it was only for 30 days, and then I stayed for the 2 months. And when I went to the airport, I just had to pay.
Yeah.
Pay a small thing.
I think it's like 4,000 at that point, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that. So it's always like, I don't want to say worth it to overstay, but it's not bad.
Like they don't even ask any questions or anything.
No, they don't care.
Like, yeah.
As long as you pay, I feel like they don't care. Awesome. Anything else that you'd like to share that I didn't cover?
Not really. I think just the really interesting thing is, and I think you can say the same thing in Santiago, is a lot of construction is happening. So 5 years down the line, I think both Santiago and Santo Domingo are going to look a lot different.
I know.
And it's really nice. Sad. Why?
It's like sad just because it's like, oh, it's changing, but it's good because they're improving like infrastructure and apartments and hopefully the roads in Santo Domingo. But you know, when I go back, and it's so, even in Jarabacoa, they're like really making it super touristy now. And it's so different.
I don't know if you've seen the coffee store with
the umbrellas and I'm like, what is this? Like, that was never there. Or the food truck stop. It just feels, different every time, which is good, but it's also a little bit like, I'm like, oh, I miss like nothing being here. But
I think it's pretty cool for those who are looking to kind of invest in the country as well, especially not in the resort areas, but more in the city areas. Like 5-10 years down the line, the property values are definitely going to go up.
I know. I'm trying to definitely do that, because even just having a place that you can rent out, Airbnb, something, and then when you want to go there, that's a smart investment, I think. Well, you're the finance guy. If you said it, then I'll trust you.
I'm looking at stuff too as well, and I've been looking since I came. I know like 2018 when I was there that year, that area, Naco Piantini, in 2 years the prices have just gone up so much.
Gone up a lot.
It's like crazy. It's like, wow.
That is crazy.
What's happening is a lot of small homes that are in that area. Developers are coming in, paying like $1 million for the small house, knocking it down and building these towers.
Yeah, they're doing that in Santiago too. It's crazy to see like all these big towers going up when it was just like nothing before. But I think it's good for people who are going to invest personally.
Yeah, and going on that as well, one thing that I also liked is the rent and property values in general.
Yeah,
it's not crazy compared to the US.
And they don't have annual property taxes.
I think if the value of the property is less than, I want to say 5 million pesos.
Yeah.
There's no property tax.
Mine would be, I think. Probably get something small. Yeah.
But here in the US, housing is crazy.
Yeah, no.
And
I was gonna say, I don't even want a house here.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, I think about what you can get with, like, if you buy a house in the US and then compare it with what you can get in the DR, it's crazy. Like, if you stay in the, like, Santo Domingo, like the district with Naco and Piantini, there's, like, the more expensive areas. But if you go out of those central areas and go out maybe like 20-40 minutes away from the town, you can get a nice 3-bedroom house for not that much.
Not at all. I've been seeing a lot of apartments for like 80,000, and they're like 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom in a beautiful place. So it's definitely tempting, but don't everyone move there at once, please.
That's just going to drive the values up.
Right. Just until I get my place, and then you guys can go. It's fine. I definitely need to get on that. Yeah. Do you have anything else that you wanted to share with us?
I think I'm good.
If anyone has any questions, could you maybe like answer in comments? If I don't have the answer, maybe they'll have a specific question for you. Obviously, I can't really answer any questions about like Montserrat or like finance. But yeah, otherwise, thank you so much for coming on. I think your story is awesome. That is such a cool experience. So I'm really glad that you came to share it with us.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. And everyone else, leave your comments down below if you have any, or I'd love to hear any kind of similar stories that you might have, especially about Santo Domingo. I love hearing that. And make sure you hit subscribe and have your notifications on so you don't miss the next one. And again, if you have any questions for Warren, just comment them below and one of us will answer them as we can. So thank you for watching.
Thanks for having me.